Right, guys, with the launch of the Switch 2, I've noticed there's been a lot of people obviously rediscovering the Switch and obviously, newcomers coming to the platform, as well as people who already grew up obviously playing the original Switch. Now, this video is aimed at those that don't know what Switch Online is and has never used Switch Online. I'm basically going to give a brief walkthrough of what Switch Online is, just so obviously those that are new to Switch and maybe searching up what is Switch Online will now have a tutorial that they can obviously watch, obviously from me. So if you already know what Switch Online is, obviously you can keep watching or you don't have to. But if you don't know what Switch Online is, make sure you stay tuned. So, Switch Online is a subscription service and allows gamers to access online play on the Switch 1 and Switch family consoles as well as Switch 2. This basically comes as a time of me recording this $20 a year price tag. Obviously, it's a little bit more if you want to get a family plan. And also, if you're in the UK, it's like £18. Now, what do you get for this bundle? Well, you actually get the access to play online, which, let's be fair, as a console maker, is kind of a huge selling point for a lot of people, because obviously you need to be able to play online with some games. But the service is peer-to-peer, so it's not as good quality as other services like Xbox and PlayStation, but it does cost less, so there is that. Now, we also need to factor in what other content we get with this. You also get the access to a continuously growing game library of NES, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy games, which I think is worth the admission on its own, largely because this library is obviously continuously growing, and it's quite a nice lineup actually. It's quite a diverse lineup of classic games. We also get access to Nintendo's music service, Nintendo Music. Obviously, as the name suggests, it is just an app on your phone that lets you listen to music from Nintendo games. However, that service doesn't have every Nintendo soundtrack. It only has, I think it's around 70 at the time of making this video. So hopefully that keeps improving as well. Now, whether or not you think this is worth paying for really comes down to what you think as, obviously, a user of the Switch 2 and Switch hardware, and whether or not it's worth you doing it. Because, obviously, if you're going to play a lot of games online, if you're going to play a lot of Mario Kart Online or Splatoon, this is definitely something you're going to need in order to actually be able to get the full potential out of those games. However, if you are only trying to, if you're not going to play a lot of online games and you want to use co-op for a lot of games, it's not really worth paying for. Now, it all depends on what you want as a person and what you want as a gamer. But I do think Nintendo Switch Online is kind of mandatory if you have a Switch at this point, to be honest. So you might as well just get the subscription, because it's $20 a year. Or you could upgrade to expansion pack, which is $50 a year, and that obviously has more content, more games, and DLCs and stuff included. But obviously, this is about Switch Online, so the base tier. So if you guys think Switch Online is worth it, I recommend subscribing to it. Obviously, $20 a year isn't that insane, but also you need to factor in your own needs as a consumer and as a gamer. If you think it's worth you paying for it, then obviously pay for it. If you don't think it's worth paying for it, then don't pay for it. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Have you got a Switch 2? Let me know in the comments down below if you have a Nintendo Switch 2, and if you do, let me know. Tell me what your experience with it is and what your experience with Switch Online is as well. I've been EC. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I'm signing out. Peace.